Jai Bharat, sorry, last video was disturbed, so I just make another one. In continuation, that one disturbance every day it happens with bad weather conditions. Also, well, no problem at all. I'm just going to talk about Constitution of India and our relation to that. I've explained in that last video, and that was about our preambles and our duties according to 51A article in Constitution of India and what we understand by that. We are lucky, we are fortunate, we have this document with us, and we should be proud of that. We should feel pride that our predecessors like Dr. Ambedkar and head of this Constituent Assembly's Committee of Constitution Design, that committee that had Dr. Ambedkar, to whom I salute. Dr. Ambedkar was author of this, real author, exponent, you can say, exponent of this constitution, who procured this constitution to this document from various countries, including 66% of this part from Government of India Act 1935, which act is very long if you download that act, and so there's hundreds, many, you can say more than 300 document pages are there in that, and 66% of that contents by amendment for taken out, extracted from that document and included on this document, and 12 other constitutions were used from various countries, which extracts have been included to this and inserted into this document and then edited by those people. So it was, see how many years it has taken, how much time people worked there, because there was no computers in those days, and there was nothing as they have was we required to write it written by hand and then edited and re-edited and re-edited, and then they come to conclusion that's okay, now is a book form, and you can say we can issue audit for publication or for draft or for invitation of notices or objections or something like that. So it was a very long exercise, but this was for long duration to come in. It was, you can say, a reliable document, permanently reliable document, which has possible to us. Just think of, we should value this or we should value this. This is, you have to consider as an intellectual person or the person of common citizenship, or whoever educated or not educated, they have to value this document. Unfortunately, this happened that we don't get this document for decades since 1950, but this came into complete commissioning, and in 1940 was designed and adopted in these both years. It was there, and we celebrate in the name of this document. We call it Republic Day or Ganatantra Divas. We celebrate that day, but actually we just celebrate for sake of a ceremony, public ceremony of 26 January or 26 January. Dates is conducted at India Gate, but we don't understand what for is that. What's the real purpose of that? Real purpose was that we got the day of independence, Republic Day is called Ganatantra Divas, and that means we got ourselves this constitution, which came into full being on 26 January 1950. A celebration in that memory is conducted every year. That point we have to remember and understand and know. Every kid of this country must know that Ganatantra is a not easy job. It was a mechanism for real people of this country. That is called Ganatantra, a mechanism for everybody, how we have to live in this country. And these points have been explained, included on that Ganatantra. It's a part of those 5 parameters. You can do 20% we are Ganatantra, 20% in that case, just 100% of our, you can say, power is sovereign, one power, socialist another power, secular is third power, democracy is fourth power, and republic is fifth power. So out of our total power, we have 5 points of analysis. So first, your sovereign means you are having no disturbance from a third nation. You are your owner, you are your destiny maker, and that is called sovereign. Means you are king. You have to write your luck yourself. No one is going to come to write your luck. You can write bad luck or good luck, that's up to you. You are your forecast. You have to decide what you want to be in future. Then there is a socialist content, socialist element, which says that it is a society that you live in. You have to take care of society, you have to take care of everybody. Whoever is a member of the society must have been privileged by this power. Then there is secular, which says all the religious facts, it's not defined actually anywhere, but it's not understanding what secular means. If you see dictionary, secular says, somebody says something, somebody says something, some say stateless, religious the state. But what I say is, in our country, its understanding is that we are respecting all sects, all religions officially, but state is not involved with any sect or religion. People are free to profess whatever religion. People are free to accept whatever culture, rituals, conduct rituals or ceremonies or whatever, to an extent what ceremony or what your ritual do not impact adversely on other community. So all communities are available, they are respected, they are honored. There are various laws for each community, but we are secular because we contain all, we respect all, we extend our values to all, and they are free to move here and there, and they are free to profess the religion, to promote religion, whatever they want to do to an extent. These activities do not impact other communities' activities adversely. They should support each other, that's fine, but there should be no conflict. If conflict exists, then this should be controlled by law and order, under law and order. This is what secular actually means. If there is some ritual which is good one and has been there for centuries, that ritual is accepted and recognized, and which is not against society, that has to be condemned and eliminated from our practice. That is what secular status means. And then democratic state, we know what we are. Every boy and girl, every kid of this country, every person who has little mind or who has some understanding, even though infant he is or he is, know that what democracy is. But my definition of democracy, which you must also accept, is entirely different. Your democracy can stop at vote point, but my democracy starts before that, and it goes beyond that. I don't stop as vote point. I explain to you that one. But before that, what is republic? Republic means hands of public over all, above all. Public replaces kingdom. Public replaced British. Public replaced all previous kings, whoever they were. They were domestic kings or nawabs, or they were foreign kings. All have been replaced, had been replaced in 1950 when we commissioned our constitution document fully, legally. So collectively you can say 140 crore people, or whatever number is there from time to time, make kingdom themselves, and that is republic. Means power of king has been transferred to public. So at one end is you can say sovereignty at one end of this chain of 5 powers, 5 parameters, attributes, you can say, to our people. Sovereignty at one end and republic on other end. In between are socialist, secular, and democratic. Socialist, secular, and democratic are, you may say, dynamic parameters, because end parameters cannot be touched. Your status of sovereignty is permanent and your status of republic is permanent. There can be no variation on these parameters. These are fixed points. In between are socialist parameters, secular status parameter, and democratic, which are vibrant parameters. Because society has to change from time to time, has to uplift or downlift, it has to move up and down. Similarly, you can say secularism, which is also varying because of various cultures in this, various ceremonies in this, and various contemplations in this. And these are not under state control. These are respected and approved by Constitution, but are not controlled by Constitution to a certain extent. If it disturbs the law and order, then we can say there's some involvement of state controls, but not at freedom level, at control levels, so that law and order remains intact. And then democracy, which is very, very vibrant because it changes every frequency of 5 years. So secularism is a power tool with everybody. Means nobody can say you are belonging to this religion, you have no right to stay in this country, or you belong to this caste, you have no right to this country. There is no question one can say that. Everybody has been deprived of statement as such. This is, you can say, a corrective measure, a measure, erroneous elimination measure, you can say remedial measure, you may say it, remedial measure of those defects which have been inflicted to us, inculcated in our culture, in our society, you can say for centuries. So this has taken that out, that defect, that unrequired redundant parameters we had, with which which we could torture others, we could restrain others, and we could abuse others. That parameters, that bad activity element has been taken out by power of secularism. Then socialism. Socialism says you are a part of society. You are not living in jungle forest. You have to help each other in capacity as society. Society doesn't mean society in street, everywhere. It may be professional society. It may be, you can say, academic society. It can be other society, any other, whatever other society it is. Trade society, shop society, where it is, means a part of society where everybody should get food, everybody should get clothing, and minimum support that life requires to move. That's called socialism, and it's duty of state also. Not also, actually it is. If somebody is not getting something, state has to provide. Though I cannot say that we are a welfare state. We are not welfare state, but a minimum standard must be. Suppose somebody doesn't have food, it's duty of people of this country, state of this country, society of this country to provide at least food to that individual who is starved. Or if there's a cloth, provide clothes to that one. This level of society we should have, and that's called socialism. Whatever resources we have, that must be owned by everybody. Benefits of the resources must go to lowest class of people, because highest class can avail them, but lowest class are debarred virtually. So every person in this country, every citizen of this country must get those. Then I come to democracy. For you, democracy is only election. But for me, democracy is not only election, but it includes all other parameters. Democracy, of course, is a term that has been taken from West concept, but my democracy is not West concept. My democracy is, if you say, it should be permanent and regular. It should be continuous. You cannot say that elections are over and my duty is over. No, that is not democracy. That is, you can say, something illogical. That's why I say I am not born to vote others. Again, I stress on this point. Because my title in this country is citizen. Citizen. What is citizen? That is the point. These days, this topic is very burning, It's very burning topic. What is citizen? What is citizen? What is citizenship? A fume has been generated. A smoke, fire has been generated. Somebody has kindled fire. What is fire kindling? Somebody used a stick and kindled some fire. That fire is spreading. It is spreading all over the country. This is multiplied, thrived. It's like Australia jungle fire, bush fire. This fire was not seen. This fire was seen only during freedom struggle. But that fire was against our masters those times. British. Our slavery making people, those who enslaved us for centuries, and before that other people, could be Mughals, you can say. Then before this, you can say those people who migrated to this country from Euro-Asia, or convert to, you can say, Aryans, and before that many more could be, I don't know. And it was not only for us, many other countries were enslaved like that. Now I am not a slave. This constitution and freedom gifted to me legally a title that is called citizen, and ship also with that. Let us say citizen and ship separately. Citizen, you are saying we people. What are we people? I'm not using term thee because thee got nothing here. We say we, thee people. We are used to using thee for nothing. Means if you don't use thee, it doesn't make a difference. It's the same thing. We people of this country. What is we people? We people, according to me, is we people equal to citizen number 1 plus citizen number 2 plus citizen number 3 plus citizen number 4 and up to citizen number 140 crore or whatever number. This means there are 140 crore titles of citizen. Yes, that's right. Citizen means owners, members of this nation. As citizen, I am corporate member of this nation. I am original member of this nation because of powers given to me by charter of my nation. Charter of my nation means constitution of my nation, means Bharat ka Samvidhan. There is only one constitution, not two, and therefore there is only one citizenship, not two. Constitution mandates that these are eligibility criteria, or you can say qualifications for a citizenship definition, and if you satisfy these, if you comply these, if your CV, your application is qualifying this, you are entitled citizen of this country by virtue of birth or by virtue of naturalization, both. And it applies in all countries as well, nothing new. This is your chartered right according to chapter 1 of Constitution, Fundamental Rights, and status wherever is defined, article 5 to 15, you can go through and see, and then further jump on to article 325 to 37, etc., where elections are defined, electoral scheme is defined. Those article clearly says who is adult franchise or adult suffrage, which means who is that person in this country who is allowed, empowered to vote, to elect MLA or MP. You know what is MLA, member of Legislative Assembly, and MP is member of Parliament, Lok Sabha. Those articles explicitly mandate that only registered people, registered citizens, adult suffrage are empowered to vote, to constitute Lok Sabha, which is House of People. Lok Sabha, which is a part of Parliament, which means Parliament equal to Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha plus institution of President. So in Lok Sabha, you are there, a part of Lok Sabha through your representative who is member of Parliament, Lok Sabha, bracket Sansad in Hindi. This right comes to you from foundation of citizen, which you must say citizen status, citizen title is not a grant, it's not an issue or a certificate given by someone. It's your own qualification, it's your own right and privilege that Constitution of this country has granted on you by virtue of your qualifications of being a member of this country. So citizenship itself is a big weapon with you. It's not given by someone. You have to comply by birth or by naturalization. So you qualify that title, and this cannot be withdrawn from you unless there's some problem with you. You are a criminal or you surrender it yourself. If you join some other country membership, then of course you have to surrender your citizenship because of that change of status. Yes, in this country, two citizenship not accepted. We don't allow that. One is applicable. If you are citizen of this country, Bharat, India, and you join some other country, certainly you have to surrender that. Or lock and take back. If you are a criminal and you are in jail, of course, this citizenship got no meaning then. It is meaningless. That's what I'm saying. Do not take this title easy. This title has big value, which value is being defined now in 2019 and 2020, a year of great change. After traveling 70 years, this constitution was silent. People had been sleeping and constitution was weeping. To be very frank, our constitution, in eyes of public, I am saying in eyes of public, not in eyes of law, not in eyes of judiciary, not in eyes of legislature or executive, but in eyes of top powerful community, and that's people had been sleeping since 1950, and we ignored it, certainly. And I am and you are, both are at mistake at that point. We may say we ignored it. This means we ignored ourselves, we ignored our society, we ignored nation, and we ignored all checks and audits, what we should have done. And those people in power, those could be parliamentarians, those could be judges, or those could be whosoever, minister or non-minister, they enjoy this power one-sidedly, one-party based. Means there was no one to raise question, there was no one to speak against some ill acts done by government or legislature. They all enjoyed easygoing life because public had been sleeping. Public could not understand, could not analyze what was required. Reason was people were not very well educated, and those who were educated were living in their own world. Nobody cared. Everybody considered, except advocate community or those involved in such type of fashions, that this is something foreign. Constitution or law is something irrelevant for them. Example is, first said engineers, they consider, oh, I have to take nothing with this, I'm doing my profession, I'm happy with that, and that's it. Same thing doctors said, considered, or professors, teachers, or others, government employees, private employees, all those just neglected this thoroughly. Who cared about this? Law community, judicial community, legislature too, part of them, not full, because our legislature supposed to be not very intelligent and competent with consistency. I openly speak that. Executive further down, because executive has to comply with legislature orders. So if legislature is weak, legislature defective in mind, certainly executive will be rubbish. But the judiciary knew it very well. But they knew only because people did not know. And they did their job, whatever they could do. People think as if judiciary is very specific. Because people are not aware of legal system. They know system is there, but they don't participate. They never participated. So we just allowed 70 years from public end to go waste to an extent constitutional powers are concerned. These people dominated judiciary and legislature and executive. They thought they are only leaders of society in this country according to their job responsibilities, though they are not clearly defined. Well, this is just the contemplation I am giving to you to arouse your sentiments, to ignite your minds. Ignition of minds remains very important when you talk to people in a way that they're missing something. You cannot miss your duty, you cannot miss your responsibility, you cannot ignore all such requirements forever. Okay, 70 years ago, no problem. Sky hasn't come down. Life is moving. People are living. Of course, economical problems are there. Every problem is there, yet people are living. 140 crore people is not small quantity. It's not a small amount. If you just combine population of whole Gulf countries, European countries, and probably England, or Europe and England, all that, you may not reach this figure. 140 crores. And if you take population of USA, your educated people are more than that. We upgraded our population value, we upgraded our academical value, we upgraded our professional value, and we upgraded all powers like defense forces and all sectors, though quality may be bad, but power is there. If we could not understand now, we have multiplied our population 5 times. If you just see what were our population in 1947, and now it's around 5 times development. 5 times. 500% we are now in comparison 1947, just in a period of 70 years. Just think on with what speed we are going. This means if we are moving with such speed, our environment, our problems, of course, would promote at that level. And they are promoting. So if there are benefits, there are losses. If there's merit, there's demerit. If there's a quantity, there's a loss of quality. While quality and quantity should move together, they are not moving. We have upgraded our quantity, but quality has dropped. We have moved with quantity, our efficiency has dropped. Our governance has dropped. Our public awareness has dropped. Because supply of human power is more than redundantly high. We are not caring about standard of living, standard of life. That's called quality of life. And that has led to loss of awareness in every field. Because you are confined to exist, to survive. You need food, clothing, and shelter at minimum. In addition to that, you need facilities, supports, luxuries. So your whole life goes busy in that, remains busy in that. You have no time to think about your permanent home, that is this nation on earth. I'm not talking of permanent home in sky. You are not valuing this permanent home, whichever is for 60, 70, 80, 90 or 100 years for each individual in journey, permanent coach, permanent compartment. You are not improving that, which is your fundamental duty to improve it. And that's what effect of citizenship implies. Citizenship, that is main point I want to discuss in relation to democracy, is very important conflict consideration. It should